Welcome to Trick the Ear Spatial Audio Engine. So this app can basically, create the spatial audio for you into multiple of speakers, but it can also output the sound into your headphones, and it creates the illusion that the sound is coming from particular position, and you can have multiple audio sources at once. The first thing you want to do is to select which audio interface you want to use. So you can do that by clicking Output here, and here you can see Device, and you should see all the available devices you have on your PC. You can extend the window like this to see it properly. And you should already have your interface up and running, so like plugged in. If you are on Windows, make sure that the ASIO is running. So let's assume I will select this one, and then you want to click Open. Now it will load for a few seconds and then it's ready basically. And you can already see that the number of outputs jumped to 8. So it detected we have 8 channels out in this particular device that I have selected. Now nothing is playing yet. So for that you would need to go to playback. And here you can click play. And you can see that we have a timeline down here, and you should hear the audio at this point through your speakers. But it depends on how you positioned your virtual audio sources. I will get to that soon. So let's stop it first now and pay attention to the playlist. So here we have 2 available playlists right now, and these playlists are located in your data folder. And data folder is listed here, and so you can see that currently is inside the data folder of the app, but you can also, select another path where you want to place it. So you can change that to whatever you like. But if you go to your data folder, what you will see there is basically this. So you have bunch of directories here, and what you actually want is samples. Inside samples, these are the playlists. So you can create a new folder and place your .wav files inside, and it will automatically detect it and load it on the startup. And you can also click here, scan folder, in case you edit new files during runtime, and it will load it as a new playlist. So each folder is separate playlist. And you can place multiple WAV files here, and all of these files will be played simultaneously, and each one of them will appear as individual track. So here I have selected the Composter Short, that's the name of the folder. And if you go into tracks, you can see I have 4 WAV files here. So I have some bass, shorts, drums, and melody. So these are basically my audio stems. Now I can go into the bass track, and you can see we have also multiple options here. So you can select manual if you want to, tinker around with each individual output channels volumes yourself. By using sliders basically. So if I do that, I can change it to whatever I like. So let's put the 0 there. But mainly you want to use this app for spatial audio. So you have the spatial toggle selected, and then you can see that I have already pre-selected some circular animation going on, but I can set that to none, and you can see the animation stopped. And our source is right here, the red circle, right? And if I set this to, let's say, static, then I can adjust the position manually by using the slider. And if you scroll into the slider, you are changing how sensitive it is. And if I scroll out, it's way faster, okay? And you can also change the position up and down, right? And You can save your settings if you go to the saves and create new save. And then when you load the app, it will remember the settings that you have created. And you can also load previous saves. So you can load the previous, whatever settings you had here. Right. So now you have the source set as static. But let's put it to a circular path as before. And you can also see the circular trajectory that it will take. But since we marked it static, it's not doing anything right now. But if I set this to false, okay, now it's going around the circle. And I can change the rotation of one axis and the other axis as well. And it will follow it. Right. And we also have a noise, so that will basically do the random motion there. But you can create your own animation code, or you can use Open Sound Control Protocol to send the data from other app as well. And you can see that we already have visualized here some speakers. And so this is the layout that we are using. And if you go to Spatial Engine here, then you can see we have currently preset circular 8.1, but I already have multiple presets here and I can load them during the runtime as well. And you can see like we can have a 3D one, right? So, whatever number of speakers you want to have, or you can have just 4 with a subwoofer, let's say. So, and these presets, you can either write your own JSON file. So if you go to your data folder into speaker presets, so here are the presets that we are seeing in the app. But if you just edit that file in the text editor, you can see this is the JSON file, and you can create your own. So if I open this one, you can see we have our speakers here. Oh, sorry for that. So this one has index is a channel that the speaker is using. So this could be 0, but it could also be 1, 2, 3, whatever. Then you have some normalized position. And also this parameter means like if it is a subwoofer or not. If it's a subwoofer, we are not calculating spatial audio for it, but we will send the low pass through that. Right, so that's it. And you also have a name of that preset. So that's the name under which the preset will appear here. But you can also choose to generate new preset. So I created a built-in tool for that to help you generate the circular or rectangular preset. In case you need just a 2D preset, this is the fast and easy way to have a starting point to edit your own. So you can adjust the speaker count, and then you would click generate, and again it will create a new preset inside the data folder that you can edit later on. So here I have selected the bass track, right? And so we are seeing the volumes for each channel. We are seeing the changing position, some bunch of options for this kind of animator, currently circular mode, and that we mark it as a spatial audio. But you can also open other tracks and they have all the same settings. So if I mark it static, now I can move it around, and you can see that by default all the tracks have the starting position at the 0, 0. So that's why it might not be visible at the beginning, but you can adjust it, right? Currently I didn't set it to static, so I couldn't move it, but if I set it to static, now I can move it around. Yeah, and basically that's it. So, and if you change the playlist now to something different, Now also our tracks changed, right? So, you know, like now we can have different different settings for each playlist, let's say. I can adjust speed here to something more reasonable. So now it's moving around the listener. And inside the preset, you can also change the channel order of individual speakers. So this was generated, so it kind of makes sense to start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, but you can, you know, like start from 13 or whatever your particular need is. And basically that's that. And you can also play with some options for the spatial audio. So you have the sharpness here and stickiness. The stickiness is like, you know, how willing the virtual source is to switch between speakers. And this could be, you know, you need to adjust this based on how fast your virtual sources are moving around. You can also adjust the sharpness, which is like how fast the you know, like the power of to which we are calculating the sound fall off. And you can also change between dot product or Euclidean space spatial audio calculation, but you can leave it by on default if you don't understand that. But more importantly, we have here also the binaural option. So if you click this, then the output will change to binaural, which means like if you want to output this into headphones, this is the way to do it. And here you can also change the channels to which you want to output this headphone audio. So by default, it's like the first 2 channels of your output, but you can change it to whatever, where you have your headphones plug in. Now in the playback, I can click stop. And now, you know, like you can see our virtual source is still animating, but, you know, nothing's playing. So these two are independent. So the movement of the virtual sources, it's not tied to, you know, playing playlist or whatever. So that's separate. But if I'm playing the playlist now, all the tracks here that I have are playing in, you know, synchronously. And you can have just like one track there. There's no need to have more. But you can, you know, produce more interesting results if you have more sounds to play with. So that's totally optional, up to you. But this was specifically made, so it's like very easy to just drop some audio stems into the folder, and that's it. Then you have your playlist, and you can just hit play, and it works. And more importantly, I intend this to be controlled over the OSC protocol, but you can also control this over TUIO. And you can read that about that in the documentation. Right, and if you are on the Mac, then you definitely want to change the root folder to, you know, some space on your PC, because on the Mac, the data folder is actually inside the app package. And you can right click on it and show contents and then go into the data folder. But I think it's more user friendly to change it to whatever location you like. And then there you will place your speaker presets, your samples, which are the playlists, and all the other stuff. Another functionality that this app have is the recorder. So you can actually record the output of the app and save it into the WAV files. So you can play it back later and it will create the spatial audio for you. So that would be like baked in spatial audio for this particular speaker layout. And you can also sync it to play. So if I stop the playlist here now when I toggle the sync to play, it means that when I click the start recording, it will also start playing. So you know, it goes together. So if I click start, you can see the timeline is moving and it's recording into it should now record into 8 channels, I believe, because we have 8.1 or 9 channels actually. And if I click stop, I can open the folder and you can see we are inside the data folder, and there you will have recordings. This will be the timestamp that you made the recording, and we have our channels here. Another thing is that you can also limit the number of the channels you want to record to in case that your audio card has more outputs that you have actual speakers. So in that case, maybe you don't want to record empty channels, so you can basically crop it or limit to that amount. That's like the maximum amount of channels you are recording to, which is by default the same number as your audio interface. And currently, this engine is cross-platform for Windows and macOS, and I tested this on the M4 Mac Silicon Mac Mini and Windows 11. So hopefully that will work for you as well. If not, you can report it inside the issues of the GitHub. So that way I can maybe I can react or we can get in touch. Also inside the playback options, you have a bunch of options how to control how it loops. So play once, it will just play once your playlist and then it will stop. Play all, it will like play all playlists one by one. Loop one, it will loop the single playlist infinitely. Loop all, it will like infinitely loop all the playlists that you have, and that's that. You can also control here the overall volume. So this is your master volume control, very important. And you can also choose to loop stamps, which basically loop the shorter stamps in case you have like different lengths of audio files, which you shouldn't, but if you have, then you can toggle this and it will loop the shorter ones until the longest one finished. When the longest one finished, that's considered the end of the playlist. I think that's that. And also here you can adjust the OSC port. So this app is listening on port currently 9999. And if there would be incoming data into OSC, you would see this icon green. So that tells you that there is something coming in. And the format of OSC messages that this accepts, it's written in the documentation on the GitHub. Okay, thanks for the attention and fingers crossed. Good luck with your project.